Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bersama saya Noval Fafinarsi. Di sini kita akan melakukan hands-on lagi pada sebuah lab, yaitu berjudul Build a Simple Web App in a Docker Container. Objektif kita di part 1, launch the device VM, sudah. Lalu part 2, create a simple bash script. Lalu part ketiga, create a simple web app. Part keempat, configure the web app to use website file. Part kelima, create a bash script to build and run Docker container. Part 6, build, run and verify Docker container. Lalu di sini dari require source-nya PC, VirtualBox, dan fast virtual machine. Nah, di instruksinya di part pertama, launch the device VM. Nah, kita skip, sudah. If you have not already completed the lab, install the virtual machine lab environment, so do so now. Nah, kita diminta untuk lakukan sekarang. Part kedua, create simple bash script. Bash knowledge is crucial for working with continuous integration, continuous deployment, CI/CD containers, and with your development and environment. Bash script help programmers automate and variety a task in one script file. In this part, we will briefly review how to create a bash script. Later in the lab, we will use the bash script to automate the creation of a web app inside of a Docker container. Step 1, create an empty bash script file. Change your working directory, sample app, and add new file called userinput.sh. Nah, kita diminta ke cd lab devnet src sample app. Kita masuk ke sini, kita masuk ke terminal, lalu kita diminta masuk ke mana tadi? Kita cek ke lab devnet source. Sample app. Nah, dah. Kita screenshot untuk kebutuhan laporan praktikum. Kita masukin Nah, selanjutnya kita diminta ke touch user input sh. Lalu kita masuk nano user inputs hub. Nah, tadi minta untuk masuk set 2. Oke. Nah, kita masuk ke nano dulu. Nah, sudah masuk ke nano, selanjutnya step 2, open the file in the nano text editor. Use the nano command to open the nano text editor. Use nano user input sh. Step 3, add the shebang to the top of the script. From here you can enter command for your base script. Use the arrow key to navigate in nano. Notice the commands at the bottom not shown here for managing the file. The caret symbol indicate that you use the ctrl or command key on your keyboard. For example, to access nano, type ctrl X. Okay. Add the shebang which tell the system that this file include command that need to be run in the bash shell. Note, you can use the graphical text editor or open the file with Xcode. However, you should be familiar with command line text editor like nano and vim. Search the internet for tutorial to refresh your script to learn more about them. Oke, kita tambahkan ini dalam nano. Lalu kita lanjut step keempat, add a simple bash command to the script. Enter some simple bash command for the script. The following command will ask the user for a name. Set the name to variable called username and display a string of the text with the username. Oke, perintah selanjutnya step 5, exit nano and save your script. Ctrl X then yes, enter to exit nano and save your script. Oke, selanjutnya kita diminta untuk keluar. Kita Step 6, run your script from the command line. Base user input sh bob. Kita tulis base name bob. Name is bob. Oke, itu adalah kodenya berjalan sesuai dengan yang diminta. Yang diminta adalah sederhana. Lalu selanjutnya step 7, change the mode of the script to an executable file for all user. Change the mode of the script to an executable using the chmod command. Set the option to AX to make the script executable by all users. After using chmod, notice permission have been modified for user group and others to include executable. Oke, kita masuk ke perintahnya, yaitu ls min l user input sh. Oke, selanjutnya chmod ax user sh, lalu ls min l user input sh. chmod x user input sh, lalu ls l user input sh. Oke. Selanjutnya step 8, you can rename the file, remove the extension so that user do not have to add -s to the command to execute the script. Oke, kita diminta untuk mengganti namanya jadi mv user input sh menjadi user input. Oke. Oh ya, kita sabar dulu sebentar. Kita tunggu bentar, oke? Oke, kita lanjut lagi. Tadi kita setelah kita mengganti namanya agar kita mudah tidak harus menggunakan .sh, kita lanjut. Execute the script from the command line. Now the script can be run from the command line without the source command or an extension. Jadi kita tidak perlu extension to run up the script without the short command. You just preference the script with okay. User input your name is Bob. Oke, berhasil. Jadi kita tidak perlu menggunakan ekstensi untuk menjalankan filenya karena sudah kita rename tadi. Selanjutnya step 10, investigate other bash script. You have little or no experience creating bash script. Take some time to search and the internet for bash tutorial, bash example, and bash game. Oke, kita lanjut part ketiga. Create a sample web app. Before we can launch an application in a Docker container, we first need to have the app. In this part we will create a simple Python script that will display the IP address of the client when the client visits the web page. Step 1, install Flash and open a port on the Devas VM firewall. With web application developers using Python typically leverage a framework. A framework is code library to make it easier for developers to create a reliable, scalable, and maintainable web application. Flash is a web application framework written in Python. Other frameworks include Tornado and Pyramid. You will use this framework to create the simple web app. Flash receive request and then provide a response to the user in the web app. This is useful for dynamic web application because it allows user interaction and dynamic content. What makes your sample web app dynamic is that it will be displaying the IP address of the client. Not understanding Flash function, method, and library are beyond the scope of this course. It is used in this lab to show how quickly you can get a web application up and running. If you want to learn more, search the internet for more information and tutorial on the Flash framework. Oke, kita lanjut. Tadi bilang untuk open a terminal window and import Flash. Pip 3 install Flash. Kita masuk. Pip 3 install Flash. Oh, requirement already exists, berarti all satisfied, berarti sudah ada di program kita Python Flash-nya. Jadi kita lanjut ke step 2, open the sample app file. Open sample app.py file located in labs devnet sample app directory. You can do this inside VS Code or you can use the command line text editor like Nano or Vim. Add the following command to import the required method from the Flash library. Labs devnet source, kita coba buka di ya udah Devas semua. Kita masuk ke Devas Lab dan search, kita masuk ke sample app ya. Lalu ada sample app.py. Di sini ada diminta definite src sample app directory. You can do this in sample app. Nah, ini sampel app-nya. Oh, coba kita buka menggunakan Visual Studio Code sebagai code editor. Oh, kita open folder aja ya. Visual Code, open folder, Labnets. Di sini ada sampel app. Nah, ini dia di sini sampel app-nya. Oke, kita masuk ke add the following commands to import required method from the Flask library. P paste. Selanjutnya, create an instance of the Flask class. Create an instance of the Flask class and name it sample. Be sure to use to underscore before and after name. Step 5. Define a method to display the client IP address. Next. Oh. Kita lanjut ke sini. Step 5. Next, configure Flask so what when a user visits the default page root directory, it display a message with the IP address of the client. Masuk notice the add circle root /+ statement framework /+ use the routing technique .root to refer to an application URL. This not to be confused with network routing. Here the /root directory is bound of the main function, so when the user goes to HTTP local root directory URL, the output of the return statement will be displayed in the browser. Step C. Configure the app to run locally. Finally, configure Flask to run the app locally at http://0///////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////// 18 be sure to use to underscore before the after name and before the after main. Oke, kita Oke, kita lanjut. Save and run your sample web. Save your script and run it from the command line. You should see the following output, which indicate that your sample app server is running. If you do not see the following output, if you receive an error message, check your sample app script carefully. Item 3 kita masuk ke sudah. Return. Nah, lalu kita jalankan kodenya. Kita copy dulu. Kita save. Kita jalankan di terminal. Next. Kita lihat di sini Python 3 sample app.py. Kita jalankan Python 3 sample app.py. Nah, di sini ada. Nah, di outputnya menghasilkan sama apa yang sesuai dengan kode. Nah, kita masuk ke tahap selanjutnya. Verify the server is running. You can verify the server is running in one of two ways. Open the Chromium web server and enter 0.0.00 port 1818 in the URL field. You should get the following output. You are calling me from. If you receive a single response, check your sample app script carefully. Open under the terminal window and use command line URL to curl to verify the server response. Open under the terminal window. Oh, berarti pertama kita disuruh coba menggunakan namanya itu web browser. Web browser pakai Chromium. Masuk, kita diminta ke you're calling me from localhost. selanjutnya kita menggunakan curl. Yang kita sebentar, nah ini ya, curl http you are calling me from localhost. Digunakan juga sudah bisa menggunakan command curl juga nggak apa yang didapat juga sama. Lalu selanjutnya kita masuk ke step 9, return the terminal window where the server is running and press Ctrl+C to stop server. Kita matikan. Lalu selanjutnya di part 4, in this part build out the sample web app to include an index.html page and style.cs specification. The index.html is typically the first page to load in a client's web browser when visiting your website. The style.css is style sheet used to customize the look of the web page. Step 1. Explore the direction that will be used by the web app. The direction template and static already in the sample app directory. Open the index.html and style.css to view their content. If you are familiar with HTML, feel free to customize this directory and file as much as you like. However, be sure you keep the embedded Python code in the index.html file, as this is dynamic aspect of the sample web app. Oke, kita masuk ke cat template index HTML. Coba kita masuk ke sini, harusnya di sini ada template. Kenapa tadi nggak mau ya? Get templates. Cat static style. Kita cat static Nah, di sini sudah tampil. Di sini sudah disediakan template HTML dan template CSS-nya. Selanjutnya Update the Python code for the sample web app. Now that you have explored the basic website files, you need to update the sample app.py file so that it renders the index.html file instead of just returning data. Generating HTML content using Python code can be cumbersome, especially when using conditional statement or repeating structure. The HTML file can be rendered in Flash automatically using the render_template function. This requires importing the render template method from the Flash library and editing to the return function. Make the highlight edits to your script. Nah, kita diminta ditambah file ini, lalu copy, di sample app, kita tambah bawahnya import, lalu kemudian return render template.html. Save and run your script. Save and run samples app.py script. You should get output like the following. Oke, kita jalankan dulu kodenya. Kita save, lalu kita pindah ke sini, Python sample app.py. Oke, sudah sama. Lalu kita masuk ke step 4. Again, you can verify your program is running in one of two ways. Open the Chromium web server and enter 0.0.0 port 18 in the URL field. You should get the same output as before. However, your background will be light, still the blue, and the text will be formatted as H1. Oke, kita akan melakukan kita akan melakukan pengujian lagi. Kita akan melakukan pengujian lagi Chromium. Nah, bedanya adalah backgroundnya menjadi warna biru sesuai dengan style.css nya. Kita tutup, kita close dulu. Selanjutnya open another terminal window and then you scroll command to verify the server response. This is where you will see the rest of the HTML code rendered automatically using the render template function. In this case, you will get all HTML content. However, the dynamic Python code will be replaced with the value of request remote address (ADDR). Also, notice your prompt will be on the same line as the last line of the HTML output. Press enter to get a new line. Coba lagi akses menggunakan curl http jadi yang tampil di sini adalah file HTML-nya. Nah, dengan pesan itu ada di H1. Nah, you calling me from local. Stop the server. Return to the terminal window where the server is running and press Ctrl+C to stop the server. Kita masuk ke sini, Nah, ini dia. Ctrl+C, kita berhentikan servernya. Kita lanjut. Part 5. Create a bash script to build and run a Docker container. An application can be deployed on a bare metal server, physical server dedicated to a single tenant environment, or in a virtual machine like you just did in the previous part. It can also be deployed in a containerized solution like Docker. In this part, you will create a bash script and add command to it that complete the following tasks to build and run a Docker container. Create temporary directories to store and website file. Copy the website directory and sample app.py to temporary directory. Build the Docker file, build the Docker container, start the Docker container, and verify it's running. Step 1. Create a temporary directories to store the website file. Open sample app bash script file directory, add the cbank and the command to create a directory structure with temdir as the parent folder. Kadir temdir template selanjutnya Kadir template static. Copy the website directory and sample app.py to the temporary directory in the sample app.sh file. Add the commands to copy the website directory and script to temdir. Kita masuk ke sini. Kita akan mengcopy sampel app-nya ke selanjutnya copy Step 3. Create a Docker file. In this step, you enter a necessary bash echo command to sample app.sh file to create a Docker file in the temdir. This Docker file will be used to build the container. You need Python running in the container, so add the docker from command to install Python in container. Echo from Python masuk. Use sample app.py script need Flash to add the Docker run command to install Flash in container. Your container will need the website folder and the same app.py script to run the app. So add the Docker copy commands to add them to a directory in Docker container. In this example, you will create home my app as the parent directory inside the Docker container. Besides copying the sample app.py file to the Docker file, you will also be copying the index.html file from the template directory and the style.css file from the static directory. Kita buat ini echo copy static echo copy dan bentuk file, lalu kita akan copy ke home, lalu echo copy sample app ke home ke app my app. Use Docker expose command to expose port 1818 for use by web server. Finally, add the docker cmd command to execute Python script. Selanjutnya step 4, build the docker container. Add the commands to the sample app.sh file to switch to the temdir directory and build the docker container. The docker build command menti option allows you to specify the name of the container and the trailing period. Dot indicate that you want to container build in the current directory. Cd temdir docker build sample app. Masuk. Selanjutnya docker build minta sample app. Nah, ini sedang membuat docker. Step 5, start the container and verify it is running. Add the docker run command to the sample app.sh file to start the container. Docker run sample waiting. Nah, ini sedang berjalan. tunggu dulu. The Docker run option indicate the following. Minty specify that you want to terminal create for the container so you can access it at the command line. Oh, jadi kita menspesifikkan bahwa kamu di terminal membuat container so you can access, jadi kamu bisa mengakses di command line. Minde indicate that you want the container to run in the background and print the container ID when executing the docker ps min-a command. Min-p specify that you want to publish the container internal port to the host. The first 1818 reference the port the app running in docker container, our sample app. The second 1818 tells Docker to use this port on the host. This value do not have to be the same. For example, an internal port 18 to external 800. Main name specify first what you want to call the instance of the container sample running, and then the container image that the instance will be based on sample app. The instance name can be anything you want, however the image names need to match the container name you specified in the docker build command. Add the docker ps min-a command to display all currently running docker containers. This command will be the last one executed by the bash script. Kita tunggu. Oke, kita lanjut. Nah, di sini kita menjalankan docker run. Nah, lalu dia akan muncul seperti ini. Kita cut dulu. Save. Selanjutnya, add the docker ps min-a command to display all currently running docker container. This command will be the last one executed by the bash script. Docker, kita tulis ini docker ps min-a. Nah, di sini ada port yang sudah berjalan. Nah, kayak gini aja biar lebih enak. Nah, lalu kita lanjut ke part 6, build, run, and verify the docker container. Step 1, oke, step 1, execute the bash script. Bash dot kita copy, lalu kita cek. Oh, oke. Step 2, investigate the running docker container and the web app. Kita akan menggunakan ls temp dir. practice the Docker file created by your bash script. Kita diminta untuk cat Docker file. Okay. The output, the Docker placement a command may be hard to read depending on the width your terminal display. You can redirect it to the text file where you can view it better without broad wrapping. Docker placement a running text. Kita lanjut. Save, lalu kita masuk ke 23. Selanjutnya, the Docker container create its own IP address from the private network address space. Verify the apps running and reporting the IP address in the web browser at localhost. You should see the message you're calling curl. Verify the web in reporting the IP address in the web browser. You should see the message you are calling from format as H1 on light still blue background. You can also use the curl command if you like. Pertama kita suruh cek di web browser dulu. Nah, 172 17021 IP address-nya kita copy ke sini, kita balik lagi ke terminal, kita masuk ke sini, lalu kita bisa menggunakan curl. Oke, ini IP-nya. By default, Docker use the IPv4 subnet for container networking. You should see the loopback address that the web apps used earlier in the lab and the new Docker interface with the IP address. Kita cek dengan IP address. Ini Docker, ini milik Docker, lalu ini milik loopback. Kita copy dulu sebenarnya punya loopback. Lalu yang ini punyanya Docker. Oke, kita diminta untuk untuk mengakses dan mengeksplor the running container. To access the running container, enter the docker access min IT command, specify the name of the running container, sample running, and that you want a bash shell. Nah, kita gunakan docker access min IT sample running bash. Oke, kita sudah masuk. Lalu kita diminta untuk ls. Nah, di sini ada beberapa folder. Lalu kita diminta masuk ke home/my_app. Kita diminta sini ada sample app.py, static dan template. Kita masuk ke langkah selanjutnya. Oh, kita langsung kita exit. Kita di sini stop and remove the docker container. Oke. Diminta untuk men-stop dan men-remove docker kontainernya. Nah, kita tunggu. Nah, lalu kita cek docker bash. Nah, status exit. Nah, berarti dia sudah berhenti. Jangan dari sudah berhenti. Kita diminta untuk you can restart stop container with docker start. The container will immediately spin up. Nah, jadi kalau kita untuk menjalankan, kita menggunakan docker start sample running. To permanently remove the container, first stop it and then remove it with the docker rm command. You can always rebuild it again, execute the sample app program, use the docker min a command to verify the container has been removed. Nah, kita bisa menggunakan docker rm sample running lalu docker min a. Kita gunakan rm. Nah, lalu kita cek lagi docker ps. Nah, sudah remove. Oke. Jadi untuk benar-benar meremove, kita menggunakan docker rm dengan nama kontainernya. Nah, jadi begitu. Oke, sekarang sudah selesai labnya. Mungkin saya akhiri lab kali ini. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.